Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video I am going to read this article that says the Arrowverse should kill off one of its main characters for good. So let's read. The following article contains spoilers to the first 4 episodes of the CW's Flash Season 9, so keep in mind. After over a decade, 6 different shows, and numerous crossovers, the Arrowverse is coming to an end. It all began with Arrow and rapidly expanded into expensive superhero universe. Yet the Flash Season 9 will be the final addition to the world. It seems the fans of the Arrowverse are used to goodbyes at this point, but unfortunately, that's not the case. For a series of shows that rely on action, the one thing missing is death. Oddly enough, characters in the Arrowverse die all the time. Sarah Lance, played by Katie Lotz, Oliver Queen, played by Stephen Amell, Laurel Lance, played by Katie Cassidy, Leonard Stark, played by Wentworth Miller, Eobard Thawne, played by Matt Lester, and so many others. Yet, it rarely sticks. Through lesser spit, alternate timelines, timeline shenanigans, or some crazy plot device, the characters return more often than not. Despite Arrow, Supergirl, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, and Batwoman all ending, fans have not often had to say real goodbyes. Even in the Flash final season, many characters from the other shows are set to appear, including Oliver Queen and Sophicia Leslie's Batwoman. Like Oliver Queen, it's going to show up either in the next episode, this week's episode, or next week. I don't remember. Point is, Oliver Queen is supposed to show up soon. With the Arrowverse day's number, it's time for them to kill off a major character without a miraculous return, who has been revived in the Arrowverse. Like everything else in the Arrowverse, in the universe, it all started off with Arrow. Sarah Lance was raised from the dead via Lazarus Pit. Though she was initially without her soul, the team used magic to restore her to her old self. Eventually, Leah Queen, played by Willa Holland, and Roy Harper, played by Colton Hayes, followed suit. It's not a new concept, but it happened before. It happened so often. Then there was the case of Laurel Lance, which was replaced by her Earth 2 version, by an Earth 2 version of herself. Well, technically, the character stayed dead. The show still had all Laurel around. Arrow's biggest revival came near the end of Oliver Queen's himself died and became Spectre. So Oliver was still present, but not Oliver, as it were. The tradition continued in the other shows, with The Flash having Cisco Ramon, who was played by Carlos Valdez, died just before Barry Allen time travels, meaning Cisco didn't actually die. And we all know Barry Allen is played by Grant Gustin. Eobard Thawne should have died several times over, but managed to outrun it. Almost every season features a new Wells, each one from an alternate universe. Nora West Allen, played by Jessica Parker Kennedy, travels back in time and gets herself erased from existence, only to come back slightly different. Caitlin Snow, Daniel Panak Baker, is impaled and dies, but morphed into Killer Frost to return later. DC's Legends of Tomorrow joined in on the fun, with the alternative version of Leonard Snark appearing several seasons after the first one died. Shari, played by Talia Ash, joined the Legends to change the timeline and revive her brother, Behrad, played by Shinyan Sobian, which she does, but she sacrifices herself in the process. Still, The original Sorry lives on inside the Wind Totem, and a Sorry from the alternate timeline joins the team as well. They also managed to revive Nate Haywood, who is played by Nick Sano, with magical music, and Astra, played by Bailey Tippin, to save her from hell for a second chance at life. Then Sarah Lance, once again, is killed and revived, and this time as a clone/alien hybrid who can survive certain death. Supergirl isn't left out, though in this show, resurrection is more for a presumed dead. Mon-El, played by Chris Wood, sacrificed himself only to return from a stint in the future soon after. Kara, played by Melissa Benoist, later discovered Argo City was as full of Kryptonians, including her mother, Allura, played by Erica Durance. She also discovers her father, Sir L, played by Robert Gant, alive and trapped in the Phantom Zone. Even in the short run, Batwoman includes the death and reappearance of Kate Kane, who was originally played by Ruby Rose, who supposedly dies in a plane crash, but is later seen to be alive and brainwashed into believing she is Cersei Sionionis, who was played by Wallace Day. While a few characters die permanently, like Quentin Lance, played by Paul Blackenthorne, and Martin Stein, who was played by Victor Garber, being an example. The numbers pale in comparison to those who managed to return. Actually, Quentin Lance did come back, I think, because I'm pretty sure when Oliver rebooted the the Arrowverse, I believe the Quentin Lance that Earth 2 Laura was talking to, that also gave the eulogy for Oliver's funeral, was Earth 1 Lance. Just resurrected by Oliver's sacrifice. So Caitlyn's fate in The Flash Season 9 shows that Arrowverse can't let go. Even in the final season, the Flash is up to his old tricks. Despite having died and returned already, Caitlin Snow has done it again. In Season 8, Frost sacrificed herself for Caitlin, and Caitlin set out to resurrect her sister, because at this point, even the characters are aware of the impermanence of death. In the process, Caitlin dies and is replaced by a new version of herself, Keon. Though Keon shares a little personality with Caitlin or Frost, she is still a version of the same character. Additionally, Frost's boyfriend, Chillblaine, played by John Court, hasn't given up and still seeks to revive Frost as well, which that character is presumed dead. Watch the last episode, which I think was the third episode of The Flash? Maybe the fourth. Anyways, why is a problem that the Arrowverse keeps resurrecting characters? Characters dying and returning isn't new to the world of superheroes, but the Arrowverse has relied on the trope too much. The constant revival on characters who were supposed to be dead renders their death less meaningful. After all, if they'll come back in a few episodes, what's the point of them dying at all? This reoccurring plotline takes away from the emotional moment because fans know they aren't really saying goodbye to the character. The best thing the Flash final season could do is actually permanently kill off a major character, raising the stakes once and for all. With its limited time, and death with no hope of revival would emphasize the danger that they're facing. It would add tension to the last episodes and make an emotional moment for both character and viewers. With a cast that is already so large, killing off a character wouldn't be difficult for the show, and it would benefit the seasons immensely. And irreversible death would bring back the shock factor and make it clear that the remaining characters are in danger. And I have to agree with that. So yeah, The Flash Season 9 is I think a more permanent death would be fine. I see where their point is at, because that's the one thing the Arrowverse has created by constantly bring back dead characters, that the death value isn't as epic anymore. The death, when we see a character die, it's like, okay, when's the next time we're gonna see this character? But so yeah, this season, killing the characters off once and for all. If a character dies, it could benefit, because now we're in the stage where, yeah, death actually means something. So let's see it in this case. Let's see how the Team Flash handles death while fighting their big bad, which is okay. So happens to be Red Death in this case. So I'll be over that. So, but like I said, I have to agree with their point that the Arrowverse has created a problem where the deaths that should be impactful, that should be like jaw dropping, heartbreaking for us fans, like, okay, when is this character coming back? The chance of this character coming back, either resurrecting, a timeline, like someone in the reverse time to prevent this person from dying, or a different version of this character. Okay, like, doesn't mean much anymore, sadly. So again, I do agree with this article's main point, how this seasons have at least one major death, so we can give that shock factor. Um, um, and it looks like Killer Frost's boyfriend might be like kill like that shock factor. So who knows? So what do you guys think about this article? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you all. Have a wonderful day and be kind to one another.